Eddie managed to hold his breath underwater for 59 seconds. Eddie is determined to go to the Olympics. Mother gives Eddie a medal box and encourages Eddie to fill it with medals. His father told Eddie that there was no breath holding in the Olympics. Eddie begins to focus on other Olympic sports. Eddie failed at pole vaulting. He failed at the hurdles. He failed in weightlifting. He almost hurt himself with a chain ball. A metal box full of Eddie's glasses, until the day Eddie's javelin shot broke the glass in his house. Unable to stand it, his father yelled, "You're not cut out to be an athlete." To fulfill his dream, Eddie started skiing again. Eddie's bedroom was decorated with posters about skiing. Through his efforts, Eddie won trophies at different skiing competitions. At the Winter Olympics tryouts, Eddie's poor eyesight affected the others due to Eddie's high level of nearsightedness. The Olympic Committee staff politely said, "You're not cut out to be an athlete." Eddie had to follow his father into masonry. Just as he was about to give up on his dream, Eddie saw a ski jumping competition when he heard from an Olympic official that there were no ski jumpers in the UK. Eddie rekindled his dream. Eddie went to the ski jumping training center by himself. With no money, Eddie had to sleep in the restaurant's utility room. Eddie chose the 15-meter jump first. This time, Eddie landed smoothly. Eddie started with the 40-meter jump. This time Eddie was not so lucky to fall. Eddie didn't have a professional coach and had to practice hard. In the 40-meter jump, Eddie fell again and again. The snowplow driver Pierre mocked and suggested that Eddie should hire a professional coach to correct his mistakes. Eddie read an interview with Pierre in a book. It turned out that Pierre was a professional ski jumper when he was young. Since then, Eddie has been trying to get close to Pierre. One day, Pierre brought Eddie to the training center after drinking too much. Pierre taught Eddie some professional ski jumping techniques. When you jump, spread your wings like an eagle and lean forward. 15 meters is the start. 40 meters is the start of a bruise. 70 meters is the start of a broken bone. 90 meters is the start of a life-threatening jump. Pierre decides to try the 90 meters himself. Pierre threw away his cigarette during the glide. A beautiful airborne attitude and a smooth landing. The next day, Eddie took on the 40-meter jump again. This time, Eddie mastered the maneuver and landed smoothly. With increased confidence, Eddie decided to take on the 70-meter jump. This is a height that most people would have to train for years before they would dare to attempt. Eddie asked Pierre what he should do. "Don't fall to your death," says Pierre. Eddie, not quite ready, goes down the chute. Eddie fell hard. In the hospital room, Pierre read his coach's biography. In the book, the coach said of Pierre, "The best student of Pierre." Looking at the badly injured Eddie and imagining his own failed life, Pierre rekindled his Olympic dream. Pierre told Eddie that a smooth landing on the 70-meter platform at the championships would earn him a spot in the Olympics. After his recovery, Eddie joined the training program developed by Pierre. After months of training, Eddie stepped onto the 70-meter platform at the championships. Eddie jumped and landed 34 meters. Eddie's jump broke the British record. Eddie managed to get a ticket to the Olympics. Officials from the Olympic Committee told Eddie he needed to jump over 61 meters to qualify for the Olympics. They didn't want to waste money on Eddie. Eddie didn't give up. He was going to compete in the European tour. Dad gave Eddie the car and Mom took out all her savings. Eddie and Pearlie started training hard. Eddie's time went from 43 to 49 meters. On his last jump, Eddie jumped 61 meters. He may have finished last, but Eddie was ready for the Olympics. Eddie put on his national team uniform. Mom gave Eddie a familiar tin box to encourage him. At the Olympics, the Norwegian flyer jumped 114 meters. Eddie is on the vault. Mom and Pierre are watching Eddie on TV. Eddie slides down quickly and lands smoothly at 60 meters. Eddie sets another British record. A happy Eddie does the eagle spreading its wings move. At the press conference, Eddie was nicknamed Eddie the Eagle. Eddie was the center of attention. Terry called Eddie, "People will soon forget Eddie the Eagle." Eddie looked at the 90-meter platform and made a decision. At the press conference, Eddie announced that he had decided to take on the 90-meter jump in order to prove that he really loved ski jumping. Pierre was shocked when he saw it. To encourage Eddie, Pierre arrived at the competition. A lot of athletes fell down on the field. At this height, as long as you come land smoothly, you're a winner. The whole crowd cheered and applauded for Eddie. This time Eddie was competing with his idol, the Norwegian flyer. Eddie took a deep breath on the platform. He wants to break through the doubts and prove himself. He jumped and skidded to the ground. Eddie beat his own mark of 71.5 meters. Eddie set a personal best. He's not a genius, but he's a challenger. He's not an eagle, but he's got wings. What we have to do is not to give up but to be brave. The story is adapted from Michael Edwards, the most famous British ski jumper.